Some threats arrive loudly, others slip in quietly. Filed reports, stamped approvals, decisions made in calm rooms. And everything moves forward based on one assumption. That assumption was simple. There was no nuclear weapon. Not yet. For years, analysts watched satellite images. Concrete structures in empty desert. Trucks arriving after midnight. Leaving before sunrise. Routine activity, they said. Industrial research. Missile development, but nothing more. That conclusion traveled through quiet hallways in Washington. Briefings, closed-door meetings. The message stayed the same. Iran was years away. Years before anything capable of threatening the American homeland. So pressure increased, sanctions tightened. Covert operations expanded. Someone believed the timeline. Someone trusted the reports. But one detail slipped through, small enough to ignore. Early intelligence focused on known facilities, places satellites could see, places inspectors tried to reach. But one analyst noticed something odd. Construction materials moving toward a region not on any official map, a dry corridor of desert, rarely monitored. The shipments were small, irregular, easy to dismiss. And they were, because if the activity meant something, the timeline would collapse. It would mean the program started much earlier than anyone believed. Admitting that would change everything. So the note stayed buried in a secondary report. Months passed. Missile tests appeared in the news. Tall cylinders rising into gray sky. Analysts studied the footage, range, fuel capacity. Guidance systems. Their conclusion stayed cautious. Regional threat. Dangerous for neighbors. For military bases nearby. But not America, not the mainland, at least not yet. Then a quiet meeting took place in Washington. A satellite specialist spoke for less than 3 minutes. He showed a single image, a launch platform. Longer than the others, reinforced, built for something heavier. Someone asked if it proved anything. The specialist paused. Not proof, he said, just unusual. The room moved on, because the official assessment still held. No nuclear weapon. No missile capable of crossing an ocean. But something else was happening. Some signals disappeared. Missile telemetry stopped showing up in intercepted data. Supply routes changed. Fuel components vanished from known channels. One analyst later described it as a blackout, not absence, control. Like someone had learned exactly where the satellites were looking. Then another anomaly surfaced. A cargo ship in the Indian Ocean, registered commercial vessel, routine paperwork, routine cargo, industrial machinery, but the ship stopped. 6 hours, no port nearby, just open water. The pause was logged by tracking satellites. Then the ship moved again. No investigation followed. Ships pause sometimes. Mechanical trouble, weather, navigation errors. But the timeline didn't fit. During those 6 hours, another vessel entered the same coordinates, a military transport. From a country rarely cooperative with Western monitoring, the records existed, but they weren't connected. Not then. Weeks later, another missile test. Short range. Strangely short. Observers noticed something. The missile could have gone farther, much farther. But it didn't. The burn time ended early, almost controlled. Like a demonstration designed to hide capability, not reveal it. One engineer reviewing the data said quietly, "They limited the engine." No one responded. Because that meant something else. The missile wasn't weak. It was restrained. Around the same time, leadership inside Iran changed. A new figure took power, younger, quiet. His public statements were brief, measured, no loud threats. Just calm language, sovereignty, deterrence, patience. Some analysts found the tone unsettling. Aggressive governments brag about weapons. Quiet ones sometimes hide them. Then a third detail surfaced. A seismic signal, small, almost invisible, recorded by monitoring stations far away. At first, it looked like mining activity, but one geophysicist studied the waveform. Something about it felt wrong. Too contained, too symmetrical. He didn't call it a nuclear test. He couldn't. The data wasn't strong enough, but he left a note. Possible contained detonation. Low yield. The report circulated briefly, then disappeared inside a larger archive, because confirming a nuclear test would trigger consequences: diplomatic shock, military escalation, economic panic, and the evidence wasn't certain. So uncertainty won. Months passed. Nothing happened. Cities stayed bright at night. Airplanes crossed the Atlantic. Markets opened every morning. Official assessments remained unchanged. No operational nuclear weapon, no intercontinental delivery system. Then, early one morning, a radar station in Alaska detected something. A launch signature, far across the horizon. Not from a known test site, just a brief flash, then a rising arc. The trajectory looked strange, high, very high. Then the signal faded. Operators assumed failure, a missile falling into ocean. But the radar track lasted longer than expected, long enough to raise one possibility. The arc suggested range far beyond regional targets, far enough to reach North America. When analysts ran simulations, most predicted ocean impact, but one simulation produced a different path. A long arc across the Pacific, toward the continent. Not toward a city, higher, much higher. High altitude. If something detonated there, it wouldn't destroy buildings, it would do something quieter. An electromagnetic pulse. A burst capable of shutting down electrical systems across enormous distances. The model showed cascading failure. Power grids collapsing. Communication networks going dark. Transportation freezing. Hospitals switching to limited backup power. Within minutes, modern infrastructure could begin to fail. The simulation stopped there because it required one assumption, that the missile carried a nuclear device, and officially, no such device existed. So the scenario was labeled hypothetical, archived, never presented publicly. But one investigator noticed something else. The radar track ended suddenly. Not because the object fell, because the sensors lost it. The altitude was too high, above reliable tracking, which left one question. The object launched that morning was never confirmed to land, and no one ever proved what it was carrying.